Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a Form 40F filing. Think of it as an annual health checkup for a foreign company listed on the US stock market. But before we get started, did you hear about the company that tried to cut costs by firing its entire accounting department? Turns out they couldn't count on anyone to balance the books. Hopefully this company, Largo Inc, has a better handle on things. Let's find out. This Form 40F is basically Largo Inc's annual report. It's how they tell the US Securities and Exchange Commission and therefore potential investors about how their last year went. Think of it as a detailed summary of their business finances and any major happenings. The report covers the year ending December 31, 2024. The company is providing both their annual information form and their audited annual financial statements. This is important because it gives investors a good overview of the company's performance. Largo Inc, the company we're looking at today, is actually a Canadian company. They're in the mining business because they're not a US company. They get to file this special form, the 40F. It lets them use Canadian rules for some things which are a little different than the rules in the US. Our heads up. This report contains what are called forward-looking statements. These are basically the company's guesses about what will happen in the future. Things like how well they'll do or what the market will be like. But, and this is important, these are just guesses, and things could change a lot, so don't take them as a promise of what's to come. Because Largo is Canadian, they follow Canadian accounting rules called IFRs. These are different from the accounting rules used in the United States. This means that their financial statements might look a little different than what you're used to. So when you're comparing Largo to US companies, remember that it's not an apples to apples comparison. As of the end of the year, Largo had about 64.1 million common shares outstanding. This number is important because it tells you how much of the company is owned by the public and can affect things like earnings per share, which is a key metric for investors. The people in charge, the CEO and CFO, have to say that they've checked everything to make sure the information in the report is correct. They're saying that they have good controls in place to catch any mistakes or fraud. Now, this doesn't mean there will never be any problems, but it's a sign that they're taking things seriously. Largo paid its auditors, KPMG, a little over 1.3 million Canadian dollars for the audit. They also paid them some extra fees for tax services, a little over 200k in Canadian dollars and 86k in euros. Basically, the company pays them to make sure their financial statements are accurate. All these services were approved in advance by the company's audit committee. Here is where it gets interesting. This table shows what Largo owes and when they have to pay it. Looking at accounts payable, which are short-term bills, they owe about 31 million. They also have long-term debt totaling around $92 million. 74 million of that is due in less than a year. The company needs to have a plan to pay that down or refinance. Because Largo is in the mining business, they have to tell the SEC about any mine safety issues. However, in this case, the company stated that they had no mines in the United States. Largo is listed on the Nasdaq stock exchange in the US, but since it is a Canadian company, it doesn't have to follow all of Nasdaq's rules. The company posts a list of these differences on their website. This is something worth checking out if you want to know more about how Largo is run compared to a US company. Largo seems to be managing its financial reporting well with appropriate controls and a responsible audit committee. The company is saying all the right things about making sure their numbers are accurate and that they have good procedures in place. However, the debt payments are definitely something to watch. With over 74 million due in the next year, the company needs to generate enough cash, refinance, or sell assets to cover it. Overall, Largo appears to be in a reasonable position, but those debt payments are a yellow flag. Investors should keep a close eye on how the company manages this debt in the coming months. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. Let me know in the comments which company you'd like me to decode next.